thank you for joining the information event this afternoon. Under the current circumstances, we are unfortunately not able to host you in at the UTC itself for a tour and see the sites. But hopefully what you've done is you have gone online, you've gone to followed the website links that we sent you, you've had a look at the videos that we've made showing a day in the life of the UTC, so you've been able to see some of the facilities, some of the students in action. In addition to that, the student feedback comments, the videos we made with students giving comments and feedback on the UTC, life at the UTC. So hopefully you've had a good watch of them and you know a little bit more about us prior to this information event today. So I plan to go through the presentation that I would normally give at the end of the tour. So if you were to visit, you'd have a tour of the facilities, see the students in action, and then I'd end the tour with a presentation. So that's what I'm going to go through this afternoon. And there'll be the opportunity to ask me questions via email for 30 minutes or so after the presentation. I'll be, if you like, live on email to answer any specific questions that you may have. So, as I said, thank you for joining. I may dip out if anyone joins late, because not everyone that's signed up have joined the event, so I might have to transfer and allow them in as I go through it, so bear with me, but otherwise we're good to go. So hopefully you can see the slides here with the information event. The image you can see on screen is outside my office at the moment. Actually, it's our alumni, our graduate students. So when they finish with us in year 13 and when they go off to university or to employment, we like to put their faces on the wall with the locations, and it's a real source of pride for us, sending the students on to the next step in their journey. And the courses and unis and locations and employers they go to are many and varied. I'm Paul Quinn, I'm the acting principal. I've been at the UTC since before it opened. I actually joined in April 2014. The UTC opened in September 2014. So we're working with Emma Loveland, who I'd worked with previously for 15 years. We set up the UTC together. So I've been there from day one. Emma moved on last summer, so I've been acting principal for this academic year so far. So and I love it. It's nice to work in a way a dream job. Being able to set somewhere up from scratch, to be able to see something come to fruition, to try and do something a little bit different in education, not for education's sake, but because we feel there's another way in which we can do education. And as I said, seeing the students leave us, graduate, move on, go into various professions, it's a joy to be here day to day. Another good way to find out a little bit more about us, it's been a bit quieter since lockdown because we don't have the students on site, but our Facebook page, Twitter feeds have posted something on Twitter today just talking about two of our former students graduating this summer. Instagram as well, and the website itself, they're all good sources just to get a bigger flavour than just the videos. You can see sort of day-to-day, scroll through, see the things the students get up to, see the things we do, see the things they achieve. It's a good source of seeing day-to-day the sort of things we do at the UTC. In terms of outcomes, obviously outcomes are very important, even albeit being disrupted this year with the nature of exam results, but certainly prior to 2020, our key measure is not just the GCSE and A-level and BTEC grades, but also that key figure at the top, 100% of our leavers going into employment, education or training. So whatever stage they leave us, whether it's leaving at the end of year 11 or the end of year 13, we are always keen that they are doing something, whether it's university, different college course, going into apprenticeships, which we encourage at the UTC, or going directly into employment. The CAE Systems, who are based just up the road from us at the UTC, have taken someone directly from year 13 and employed them at the end of each year for the last couple of years, which is always great, keeping it in the industry. And they say they're just as well qualified at 18 as some graduates are at 21 in terms of getting them into the IT industry. Our pass rate at level 3, so that's students that leave us in year 13, whether it's ASA levels or BTEC level 3s, is 100%, of which 93% of those grades are an A star to C equivalent or merit or above. Very pleasing results. It doesn't happen by magic. It's not just a matter of turning up and we spoon feed the information into you. There are 3 parts to the process. It's having motivated students that want to be here, chosen to be here, are motivated by the specialisms we do, and work hard. It's the staff and their commitment and their expertise, and students trusting the staff that we know what we're doing and we'll get you there. And it's from parents as well and families, supporting in the background, supporting what we do, motivating when they need to, and supporting. So that all makes that pass rate and grade rate high. It's a 3-way support. Half of the results at distinction grade or A grade at level 3, BTEC or A level, and those don't come easily. Our standards are high, our expectations are high, the support is good, the quality of what we deliver is good, and it allows students who work hard to get those higher grades. Looking at GCSE, we make progress in English, Maths and Science. We don't use the progress rate measure that a lot of secondary schools use, partly because our students join us in year 10. We don't have them from year 7 all the way through. We only see them for a very small part of their secondary school journey. So we can't be fully responsible for the GCSE grades, but we test the students, we give them baseline testing when they join us in year 10. We set targets based on where they're at when they join us and where we think they can go in the 2 years that they're doing their GCSEs. And the progress that the students make is in line with expectations. So what is published on league tables and performance tables don't always tell you the full story. But certainly with the specialisms, which is the reason why, it's got to be the key reason why you come to a UTC, is because you've got a passion for one of our 2 specialisms, which is either computing and IT or travel and event management. And it's because that's going to take up a big bit of your time and a big bit of your qualification time, whether you join us in year 10 or year 12. So it's important that you're motivated to come here because you want to come for the specialisms we offer. And when I meet with you, if you put your application in, that's something I'm certainly going to be probing you about and asking you. Convince me that what your interest is in these specialisms and what you've done it up till now to show me you've got an interest in continuing studying those specialisms. And it's why our pass grade at level 2 is 90%. So that's the equivalent of a C grade or a 4 grade GCSE pass grade or higher with our BTEC level 2s, because we have students who want to be here, who want to do the specialisms, we've got the staff expertise to take them on that journey, and that's why our pass rates are high, and we're pleased with that. Another key measure for us is how well we do with our BTEC qualifications, which are our specialist qualifications, how we compare against BTEC nationally, and certainly in our vocational specialisms, or IT or travel, media and business as well, we are well above national averages for pass rates, merit rates and distinction rates. So when we're measuring like with like, we do very well. So what we don't do a massive amount of subjects. We don't have a wide curriculum offer. UTCs are not set up for that. But what we do offer, we believe we do well because we have students on board who want to do well with us. Our destinations, if you come into the UTC, in our reception we have our maps of the UK and destination boards of our students from our first leavers, which was back in 2016, up to the current leavers. We'll upgrade this for 2020. There are obviously challenges with universities and finding apprenticeships and jobs this year, but we have already placed 2 of our year 13 students have already got a place with Cisco degree apprenticeships. That was out of a national field of 1,000 candidates, narrowed down to over 100 who were interviewed, and 2 of our students from year 13 were offered Cisco apprenticeship placements this year. So we're really delighted with that, given the current challenging circumstances there are for young people. But we're proud of our destinations. They range in terms of university, they range in terms of courses that students are able to do. So even though there's a narrowing of specialisms in what we do, it doesn't narrow down the opportunities that are available for students when they leave us. So we're proud of our destinations and next steps, not just in university, but for apprenticeships and employment as well. Part of what makes that work is how we work with the partner employers and our supporters. And that's not all the organisations that we work with. These are just a snapshot of some of the companies that work with UTCs. How we work with them is varied and different. Sometimes these employers offer projects for the students to do. They'll come in and set a challenge. They'll come in and support the students through the project. And then the students may have to present the end product of the project to those employer specialists and give them quite rigorous feedback and quite honest and open feedback as well. Partly it's to do with placements. Our students get the opportunity to work in some of the organisations you can see on screen in a placement process. Sometimes it can be a one-day placement, a one-week placement, or can be longer in some circumstances, and we support that. Sometimes it's experiences with these organisations, so they might come in and set challenges for the students or give them an update in what it's like working with these organisations. Sometimes it can be we visit the organisations themselves to get some training with them or to experience what it's like being part of that organisation. So there's lots of different companies we work with, lots of different ways we work with them as well, but it's to give students that real industry insight into what goes on. Our Be Ready modules that students can do are about life skills and learning communication skills, teamwork skills, interview skills, getting your CVs ready, making applications. So there's lots of life skills that support that programme. We offer Cisco qualifications for our IT specialists, working with the Open University on that. University of Hertfordshire are our main link university, so that's the U part of UTC, University Technical College. The Fujitsu programme, they kitted out some of our spaces. We've won their competitions. They set a national competition each year called Operation Innovation, where students have to put together a concept for a new piece of technology working in industry. We work with a robotics lab we have, working with Vex and Rapid on that. Hilton offers hotel experience front of house, and the Grove support us with events that we do as well. Computer Centre offer work placements and come in and do projects. CAA offer employment and experiences there as well. So lots of different organisations giving the students lots of different experiences. Stretch and challenge is important. The qualifications we offer are key. The GCSEs, A-levels and BTECs are the key things, pieces of paper that take students on to the next step of their learning journey and the next step in their employment and education. But it's about plus ones, because lots of students get A, B, C's and D's in exams. How do we separate out our students? Other things we do is we offer the Brilliant Club Scholars Programme to Year 10s. They get the opportunity to work with a university graduate. They get to visit a top-class university, and then they do a university-level project. And this year, our group of Year 10s had a 100% pass rate, with some students with first and second class honours, which means they're working at top-level, A-level work with research that they do. And that's a real bonus to have that there. Fujitsu also, as part of our Fujitsu kit, we go out and teach younger students. So our students will go out to primary schools and teach younger students coding, introduction to coding and robotics. Our younger primary students will visit the UTC, and our students lead those training programs there as well. Our event spaces, the Refresh Cafe, our event spaces, our travel shops, allow the students to put on industry events that organisations book into. We have to do them professionally. We have to do them correctly, because these organisations are paying for those that space and want a professionally run event. So our event management students get that practical experience of doing that as well. We're part of the Palo Alto Cybersecurity Academy, which gives our IT students additional industry qualifications along with Cisco qualifications, which the industry understands. So it really gives the students a step up into being able to work in networks, to be able to work in cybersecurity and work in the IT industry with qualifications that are not just A-levels, not just BTECs. So why the Watford UTC? Why not should be the question. But I'll be honest and say it's not for everyone. UTCs are not for everyone. The Watford UTC is not for everyone. We do look for specific students that have a motivation and are clear about why they want to come here. It's not about because things are going wrong where you currently are. It's about, I want to make the change because what is offered here is something I want. And these are the reasons why. I'm interested in this specialism. Tell me why you're interested. Give me examples to show of what you've done in the specialism prior to meeting with me, prior to putting in your application. That's going to be absolutely key why you would want to join us. Our aims, our overall aim for all our students is you leave academically prepared, you've got those paper qualifications, you're technically able. Obviously, that makes a bit more sense when you're doing IT and digital, but also in event management and travel, it's been able to manage teams, put resources together, be in front of people. These are all technical skills and employability skills. Being able to meet people you don't know, make a first impression, do well at interviews. These are all important skills as well. And making sure you've got that balance as well, that you're studying well, you're keeping on track of your studies so that you succeed in the end. Our values that are put in our Fujitsu room, it's on our website, you'll see them on our emails. These are what we live by. About that word respect will come up a few times over the next couple of slides. We value different. Our students come to us because they want to be here. When students join in year 10, they're all new. It's all a starting point for students in year 10. Some of our year 11 stay on into year 12, of course, but they make our new year 12 joiners feel welcome. After half term of being here, you walk around the site, you have no idea the students here that have just joined 4 or 5 weeks ago. That passion for learning is key. Anything that has gone wrong where you currently are, you need to leave that behind and you need to come here with a clean slate and you need to be different. You need to be motivated. You need to want to be determined to work hard for yourself. It's only your name. It's on those pieces of paper when you finish your qualifications. Aspiring to achieve excellence is a minimum. You need to want to do well for yourself. You need to be resilient when doing the GCSEs or those qualifications. When you're handed back a piece of work, we say to you, it's not at the standard we require yet. You don't flop down on that. You don't give up because of that. We're saying to you, we want you to be the best version of yourself. So when you work on a piece of work, we assess it and give it back to you. If you need to work on it more, you work on it more because we need you to be the best of yourself and do the best piece of work you can all the time. For that, you do need energy. It's a 9 to 4 day. We want the students on site. We want them studying. We want to support the students when they're here. And innovative. So that innovation is accepting a different way of working. But also accepting that you might have to change how you do things in order to get things better. Accept failure is the best way to learn. Our expectations. We don't have lists of do's and don'ts on the walls. You won't see that. We don't give you student planners that have got all the rules and pyramids and C1s and C2s. But what we do have is expectations. Rather than have a list of what we don't want you to do, is get you ready for the real world and say, this is what our expectations are. This is what we want you to be. It's much easier to do that. And a question I'll often ask students who maybe aren't quite meeting their expectations is, if you're in a workplace now and you did that or behaved like that or said that, what do you think would happen next? And that's about how we get your workplace ready. So it is like a school. We do school subjects. We do subjects that other schools do. It is a bit like a college in that there's a bit of flexibility in how you study and how you approach that. And it is a bit like a workplace, which is why we have smart business dress. We expect all our students to have smart business dress from year 10 to year 13. It's why we have first name terms for staff, not because we're your friend, not because we're cool and trendy, because in a workplace, that's how you address colleagues, and we're working alongside you. We want you to be engaged with your learning and the life of the UTC. Yes should be your default answer to taking on a new option, trusting us that we know what we're doing and what we ask you to do is going to benefit you. So be engaged with what we ask you to do. Take responsibility for your own learning and behaviour. And when it's not going quite well, what the next example means pass, and it's not going quite well, take responsibility for it. What can you do differently? How could you have approached this differently to improve next time? And the learning is about you. It's about you yourself succeeding. So you need to take responsibility for it. We do want our students to be independent and have control over the learning. Not every lesson is timetabled. There are supervised study slots where a member of staff will support you to finish your assignments and do your work or do work that staff have set in lessons. For our older students in year 12 and 13, it's about controlling that additional time you have, because we expect you to work outside the lessons. When you join us, just what we teach you in those lessons isn't going to be enough. You have to read outside the lesson, you have to do assignments outside the lesson, you have to prepare for the next lesson in your own time. Now, it may have helped a little bit with lockdown that the might students in a much better position to be a bit more independent now, because you've had to be a bit independent over the last few months working from home. And that we expand and extend that here. Have confidence in yourself as a learner. I don't want to hear, I can't do it. This is too hard. Oh, I can't do this. What I want you to say is, I can't do this yet. I haven't learned this yet. I've not mastered that yet. I've not quite completed this assignment yet because it's not at merit or distinction level. Have that confidence to determine yourself, I've not done it yet, which means you're opening your mind up that you can do it at some point. So that mindset is crucial for us. And we do expect our students to show a level of maturity in relationships with each other, that mutual respect with each other and with staff. I have visitors coming round from industry, from outside on a daily basis. And I say to students, I'm coming round that corner and you don't expect me there. You don't know who's with me. You don't know that organisation and what they can offer you. So at every point in time, look at someone in the eye, shake their hand when we can do handshaking again, greet them and say hello, who you are and what you do here. And the impression that makes, the impact that makes is incredible. And that line there at the bottom, be the best version of yourself, is what we want you to do. As I said, we don't have a massive amount of do's and don'ts and rules, but these are our expectations in the practical classroom scenarios. We do allow you to have your mobile devices at the UTC. You are allowed to use them outside of lesson time, but when you're in the lesson scenario, the mobiles are away, the headphones are away. Food and drink, there's lots of spaces for you to eat. A lovely brasserie offers a range of food and drink refreshments on site. There's lots of zones where you can bring your own food, take your food to, but in the lessons themselves, it goes away. Self-management is key. It's about getting yourself ready, being in those lessons, engaging those lessons, and being ready to learn. And it's a formal place of work, so your language to each other and about the place is important that you're like that all the time. And that word again, respect yourself, respect your environment. These buildings are amazing. They look 6 months old, not 6 years old. The environment is so clean, so tidy. The students are so respectful of it because it's a nice place to be. So we expect you to keep it like that. Keep your space tidy. Tidy up after yourself. And respect yourself that you can do it, and respect each other. And we'll go far. So the actual subjects, in terms of what we offer, if you're joining us in Year 10 for GCSE, everyone does English language and literature, everyone does maths, everyone does double science. Absolutely core subjects, absolutely key, exactly the same as what you've been doing at current school. That's what we do here, English, maths and science for everyone in Year 10. We do want everyone to do a computing qualification in Year 10 and 11. Some of you, it will be the GCSE computing qualification, which is a little bit technical, a little bit hard. I'll expect you to have done some coding prior to joining us in Year 10 if you're interested in that. Otherwise, we do the Microsoft Office qualification. So it's certified by Microsoft. It's all done online. You work through it at your own pace. It assesses you online, assesses you automatically. And when you're ready to take the tests, you do the test directly on the computer, and you get your certification when you're ready to go, when you can pass the test. So we think it's important everyone has a computing qualification of some format when they leave us. I'll go to the options column on the right-hand side of that top table there. You can choose 2 options. We don't do a lot of options, but what we do, we think we do well. So business and enterprise, electronics, media, photography, and Spanish. You can read more about those subjects on the website. And when I meet with you, we talk about them in a little bit more detail. So you can do 2 of those options. But the middle bit is the key reason why you come. You've got a real interest in one of our 2 specialisms, because this forms quite a big part of your week on the timetable. So either because you've got an interest in computing and IT, that's why you want to do that, or you've got an interest in travel and event management industry, that's why you want to do that qualification there. And I'll be asking you questions about this. So you need to convince me that one of these specialisms is what you want to come here for. If you join us in year 12, a lot of it will depend on your GCSE and your qualification grades, what courses you can access. What we will be doing is talking about that in a bit more detail when we meet. But basically what we offer are BTECs at level 3, which is the equivalent to A-level at level 3 BTECs. So you can do IT or travel, and you can combine that BTEC with another BTEC. You can do business or media diplomas. These diplomas are worth 2 A-levels each, so you can do a couple of BTECs in IT and business, or IT media, travel business, travel media. You can also potentially, an ambulance goes by, you also potentially can do an A-level with BTECs as well. So we offer a limited range of A-levels, computing, English, maths, physics, photography, Spanish. But we'll talk about that when we meet. It will depend on the GCSEs you currently do and what your grade profiles are. So unlike, there's a great offer locally in Watford. You know, the secondary schools in Watford are good. The A-level offers in secondary schools are good. West Herts is a great institution that offers BTECs. But you can, at West Herts, you can only do one BTEC. We offer you potentially to combine 2. Most of the schools, you can do A-levels and not a BTEC, or it's A-levels only. So we allow that flexibility, we allow that combination, which makes us a little bit different. But we'll talk about the offer when I meet you in more detail as well. So let's go back a couple. Our day is a 9 to 4 day. Students register on tutor time in the morning. We have tutor time during the day, where we cover what we call decision making. You'll probably know it better as PSHA. So you see that you're in tutor groups and year groups and tutor groups on a daily basis, or have an assembly. From year 10, you're not timetabled in a subject for every lesson. So some of your sessions might be supervised study sessions. So you go to an IT room, there'll be a member of staff there to support you, but you choose what work you need to do in that session. So some of your subjects are timetabled. Some of the sessions will be not specifically a subject. You'll have an assignment to do. You'll have some work set in one of your GCSE subjects to do. You choose what work you do under supervision from a member of staff in that time. Similarly, if you're joining in year 12, not all your lessons will be timetabled lessons for BTECs and A-levels. And our expectation is you're here on site, you use the time while you're on site, because the facilities are here, the expertise is here, so it makes sense that you stay on site to do your work, to do your assignments, to do your extra study, to do your preparation. So when it's the end of the day, it's your end of the day. We don't set hours of homework to do each evening, but we do expect you to work when you're on site with us and earn, particularly if you're in year 12 and 13, you earn flexibility. You earn the right by making sure you're up to date with your assignments. We don't have PE, but we do offer wellbeing on Wednesdays. So there's a range of activities for year 10 and year 11 to do. A range of sports, a range of activities on offer, which means we have an earlier finish on a Wednesday after wellbeing. We finish at 3 o'clock on Fridays. We finish with a tutor session where we ask students to do a weekly review of their week, what went well, what do they need to work on, what are their targets for the next week. So that's to become real self-reflective learners each week. If students owe some time for punctuality, because we expect students to be on time in the morning and expect them to be on time to every session. So if you owe any time, you make that time up on a Friday. If you've got any assignments, any deadlines that are outstanding, or any work you still need to do, I will email you on Thursday morning. You get an email on Thursday morning that tells you you need to finish this piece of work by Friday, or you need to wait. So some students get to go earlier on a Friday at 2 p.m. If they're up to date with their work, they've been on time during the week, and there's no other issues. If you've got some work to do, if you owe some time, then you do that after 2 p.m. on a Friday. So again, it's this incentive to do what we expect you to do is how we structure our day. So last slide, that's some of our student leaders. You can see with the dress code, there's a variation in style, a variation of what you can do. The smart jacket is absolutely key. Collars, absolutely part of that. It's about the smart business dress, dressing for Monday afternoon in the workplace, in the office, not Saturday evening at the nightclub is the key. But we do have a bit of flexibility in that. We want you to feel a little bit more mature as well. As I said, any questions, I'm live online for the next 30 minutes. So if you've got any questions, if you email them to principal@watfordutc.org, then I'm happy to take any questions. You can, of course, you've probably contacted Tracy prior to this. Welcome to send any questions to her, happy to answer. If you're interested in joining us, you put an application form in. We will be in touch. You'll arrange a meeting with me. Ideally, we'll do this before the end of term, so we'll do it over June and July, and then talk about the next steps about joining Watford UTC. As I said, keep an eye on the website, keep looking at our social media. I expect the students to do a bit more research about us before I do meet you. Convince me that this specialism in the Watford UTC is right for you. Thanks for listening this afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. Take care and enjoy the nice summer.